What is up, YouTube? My name is Happiness and welcome to my channel. We're still continuing with we're still continuing with this case of Karmelo Anthony, whereby he has been released on a 250 bond. But despite that, we had opinions from black people. Now we want to hear an opinion from white people in general. So let us continue with this episode.
Hallelujah. Oh, see ya. What's going on, y'all? I heard the little homie got out of jail. Yeah.
So alleged murderer Karmelo Anthony, no, not that guy, that guy, was released after a Texas judge lowered his bond from $1 million to $250,000. This is ATV Talks with another edition of What the Hell. What the hell? Ooh. So apparently if you raise enough money, you can get your bail reduced from $1 million to $250,000 in a first-degree murder case in the state of Texas. At least that's what happened in the case of Karmelo Anthony, a high school student who brought a knife to a track meet and stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf to death because apparently they had an altercation and some words were exchanged. Now, the big question you need to be asking yourself is not, was this kid defending himself? The big question you should be asking yourself is, why the fuck was this kid at a school with a knife in the first fucking place? So apparently enough money was raised to, I don't know, slant the legal system? I don't know. But $400,000 was raised through crowdfunding, and apparently that was enough to be able to piece the legal system together, get the bail reduced to $250,000, and get this kid released from jail. Now, he is still charged with first-degree murder, and he does have to wear an ankle monitor. But unlike every other first-degree murder, he gets to stay at home. Somebody make this make sense. All that keeps going through my mind is what the hell.
So Angela Tucker was the judge in the Karmelo Anthony case in Frisco, Texas. She's actually a Republican judge, and she decided to put him on house arrest until his trial and $250,000 bond reduction, or it was reduced to $250,000. But that's great. That part doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the fact his dad said they were going to use the funds raised to buy a new house and hire security, and that he was currently out of work and needed to use that money to get by. That is not what people raised money for. And it's weird because it's like, oh, if our kid commits a crime, we can go do a fundraiser so we can be out of work and pay our bills. That's just asinine to me. Attorney Michael Howard out of Dallas, Texas, went on to say that the money raised is not a bond fund, that they would need to use that money to survive.
I cannot believe what I just seen. Karmelo Anthony, the kid that was at the track meet and took a knife out and decided to stick it in Austin Metcalf's heart, killing him. For one, I can't believe that there's people taking up for this kid. He murdered somebody in cold blood. Two, there's over $430,000 raised for this kid. And three, he's been released on bond and he's doing house arrest. It's unbelievable. Thoughts and prayers go out to the Metcalf family, but he should be in prison for the rest of his life. But, you know.
So Austin Metcalf's killer, Karmelo Anthony, was released from prison today. And I have a question. Why have you people been defending the guy who ended somebody's life? Oh, it's because of race. Because he's black, he's innocent? Are you kidding me? Why does everything have to be about race? Us conservatives, we're not against Karmelo Anthony because he's black. We're against him because he ended an innocent person's life. You liberals, like, why are you like this? And there was a woman who said that Austin Metcalf got what he deserved. Are you serious? I'm done with this.
Karmelo Anthony gets released on bond 2 weeks after unaliving Anthony Metcalf. What? When is it okay for someone to take a instrument that can unalive someone on school property and unalive another student, and it's okay, and we release them early on bond? Someone? Anybody? What, because they're teenagers? Yeah, that makes sense. That sets a lot of relevance, doesn't it? That really teaches these kids, oh, you know, all the other teenagers watching out there that go to school and on track meets, let's go on out there, and he got early bond, he got early release. I'd go do the same thing. What precedents are we really setting? What precedents are we really setting? Oh, I can go and live another student. I have an 18-year-old. I don't care if you purple, green, orange, yellow, or nor polka dotted. Okay? Unaliving another student, I have no patience for it, and I don't have any understanding for it. You're not going to change my mind. I don't care what side you sit on. Unaliving somebody else's child, there's no tolerance for it. I don't care why it happened. I don't care whom, how, why they were sitting, where they were sitting, if it's a public event, if it's a school event, if it's adults not attending, not supervising. Your children, if they're above the age of, I don't know, 15, 16, or 18. It starts at home, people. Raising starts at home. You teach your kids, they don't take knives on school property. They don't unalive other humans. I don't care what happens. You let adults handle it. Or you come home and you tell the parents go back and handle it. Whatever the cause may be. You don't take another human's life. I don't care. I cannot imagine what the other parents are dealing with right now with bearing a child. Cannot. I can't imagine what this other child has done to his parents. Now he's made this decision. He's put his parents in this place to now fight for his life because he decided to make a stupid decision and take the life of another kid. Makes no sense to me. Because I can promise you, if my 18-year-old did that, boy, they might as well keep him there. And I say that with all conviction in me, down to my soul. And I don't apologize for that at all.
So let's talk about this Karmelo Anthony thing. So you saw that the DEI judge reduced his bail to $250,000. 10% of that's $25,000. He's home. No worries, right? Let's talk. If you're arguing either side, let's talk about some legal aspects of the case, right? Texas law 9.31 section 2 says you can't provoke. He said, touch me and see what happens. Touch me and you'll see what happens. What part of that is not provoking? Number 2, he's a minor, under 17 years old, and he has this weapon. That's against the law right there, right? Number 3, the knife is over 5.5 inches long. That's another offense right there, right? Number 4, Texas Penal 46.03 says that you can't have that at a school function, right? Oh, it wasn't on school grounds. No, but it was at the stadium, and that was a school function. Hence, it was illegal, right? Number 5, right? He was prior suspended for having that knife. He had already been suspended for having the knife. And everybody says he left and then he came back. And you can see it in the police report. There's several eyewitnesses saying, I know him from fighting, and they heard it and the whole thing. And supposedly he left and then came back. So what part of that, I mean, it's premeditated at that point if he came back to do the stabbing, right? And there's so many people out there. Oh, it was self-defense. It was self-defense at a high school track meet. The guy asked him to move the tent, and that warrants stabbing somebody with a 5.5 inch, larger than 5.5 inch knife in the chest. I mean, come on. You're really reaching there, right? The law, if it's anything, it's practical. That's not practical. Equal force, right? Come on.
So I'm sipping my morning coffee here, going through my news articles, and I came across an interesting one. Did you guys know that Karmelo Anthony his bond was released from $1 million to $250,000, and was given house arrest? There's videos circulating on the internet of him walking out with his attorneys and whoever else those people are, his posse, out of jail, and pretty much heading home. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself that this can't possibly be true after Karmelo Anthony, in the most horrific fashion, unalived Austin Metcalf, right? I mean, this can't be possible. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion on it, whether you like it or not. What Karmelo Anthony did to Austin Metcalf that day at that track meet is one of the most disgusting, disturbing acts a 17-year-old has ever done. And he should never get out of prison. I do not care. Okay, it takes a real psychopath to do what he did to that kid, and in the fashion that he did it. All right, absolutely insane is what it is. It's insane, and the fact that people are defending him is also insane. And the reason I feel that way is we've all been to high school at some time of our lives, right? We've all went to high school, and we've all gotten disagreements with people in high school. How many times did you see somebody in public, in front of hundreds of people, go into their backpack, pull out a you-know-what, and insert it into another guy's heart? The answer you're looking for is never, because he's a psychopath. We've all been in scuffles before, hand-to-hand fist fights. Never a time did I ever think of pulling out something and doing what he did. All right. And if you do feel like, yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I've done it. Well, then you're also nuts and you need some treatment. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm going to go back to my coffee. Talk to you guys later.
Karmelo Anthony intentionally went into an area that he was not supposed to be in. Now, does that mean that anybody is justified in putting their hands on this kid? No, I am not saying that at all, even though I know I'm going to get comments saying, well, you're justifying that Austin Metcalf put his hands on Karmelo Anthony. I'm not saying that at all. But he went into an area he knew he wasn't supposed to be in. Therefore, he knew somebody was going to approach him about it. It might have been another student. It might have been a coach. It may have been a teacher. Somebody was going to say something, and he knew that. Now, Austin Metcalf went up to him, asked him to leave, said, you're not supposed to be here. That's when the verbal altercation escalated. It was not justified. What escalated the situation, where self-defense doesn't work, is where Karmelo Anthony put his hand in his bag where he knew he had a weapon that Austin Metcalf was not aware that he had. Karmelo Anthony told him, touch me and see what happens. Karmelo Anthony knew exactly how he was going to respond before Austin Metcalf did anything. He knew that he had a weapon in there. He put his hands on that weapon. He was looking for that weapon, and he was provoking Austin Metcalf to do something so that he could justify using it. In one of the reports, it says, touch me, see what happens. And then he said, punch me and see what happens. So it's almost like he had the thought process, thinking to himself, touching me might not hold up if after this whole interaction of me using my knife, where I say that using it was self-defense. So I need him to do something more. I need him to go a little bit further. So he told him, punch me. Austin Metcalf did not punch him. He grabbed him or shoved him. People are saying two different things, but that still doesn't justify the use of deadly force, because Karmelo Anthony is going to have to say that he reasonably felt that his life was in danger. The use of deadly force basically means it's either their life or my life. I believe that this person will kill me if I don't kill them first.
Karmelo Anthony should be found not guilty on grounds of self-defense, just like Kyle Rittenhouse. The similarities are really quite uncanny. They both went into hostile areas armed for their own protection. They were both threatened by erratic men who engaged in a confrontation and escalated that confrontation. They were both armed with deadly weapons, although Karmelo had his concealed, while Kyle was strutting around with his weapon in full display. Those seem to be about the only differences in the two cases that I can see. Concealed carry versus non-concealed carry. Now that's a pretty important issue, I would think. I don't know if that factors into these particular cases. Oh yeah, Kyle wasn't supposed to own that weapon even. He wasn't of age to own or to carry that weapon. And I really doubt if Karmelo was supposed to have a weapon on a school campus. That's usually a no-no. So those two kind of cancel each other out there. But yeah, it's almost identical. I can't even see any difference between those two cases, really. Oh yeah, Kyle had 2 victims, 3 if you count the guy that lived, and Karmelo only had 1 victim. That is kind of different, isn't it? That's one whole life.
Okay, despite that, I just want to conclude by saying that innocent until proven guilty. But either way, thank you for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe, and let's meet up to the next one. Peace out.